To kick off the program, many of you had suggested that we use the YouTube platform since many of you can't access the Zoom. So for this instance, we are going in for Computer Studies Paper 2, that is the practical. And I've decided to begin off with word processing. So I've just got any random text and inserted into a word program, but assuming that I've typed that. And then right here, I'm going to open any random mock paper. And then we see where we can start from. That was Waukesha. So they are saying using a word processor, type the document below and save it as a computer. And here the document is in form of a table. So in your computer, if you don't have the programs for Word here at the toolbar, you will have to go to the start. So when you go to start, you can type one word or just word, and then in the search index it will appear there depending on the version of the software you're going to be using. So for this instance, I'm using 2016, 216 and 365 versions are the same, they're similar. So when you click open, it will open and it will give you a menu to choose a blank document. But now for this instance, I already have the program open, so that's why it hasn't brought that. And now, as we know, in section A we have word processing and POP and spreadsheets, which is compulsory. Then in section B we have database and then PowerPoint presentations and website designing. So in section B you're meant to choose 2 questions. So assuming I want to insert a table, normally when they request you to insert anything, you will have to go through all the ribbons you see right up here. So if I see under home, at times you can first put the pointer there, you leave it for a few seconds without clicking and it will give you the name of what that icon stands for. As you can see, decrease font size, change case. So I will then look for where I can get table. As you can see here, I already have table. And then right here, if I go back to the question paper, I'll have to check. So our table here, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns, and the number of rows are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the rows are 7 and the columns are 5. So in this case, I'll come back here to my table under insert. Then the columns we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the rows, they are 7. So the rows are 7. You can see my table is going to the next page. So to push it back, I will move my pointer around the table until when I have something of that kind. Just move until you have that, then you move it down, and the table will be forwarded to the next page successfully. So, I can first undo, the change, and then I'll just click right here and hit enter until the table goes to the next page. So going back to our work here, we have after three rows, we have a row which has been merged and another row which has been merged. So row number 4 and 5 are merged. So we'll then come back to Word. Then from there, we'll count 1, 2, 3, 4. So I will highlight these 2 rows. And then after highlighting, I'm going to right click. And then I go to merge cells. And then they will be merged. But when you look at the paper here, we have this one separate from the rest, so I will have to highlight one row at a time. So in order to correct back the changes, I will have to go and undo. Then I highlight one row, right click and choose merge cells. That one you can see it is highlighted. Then I also right click this, right click and choose merge cells, and it is also what, highlighted. So when you look at the text here, we have total, it has been center aligned. So I'll come here, then I type total, and then to center align, I will highlight this that I've typed. Then I come right here under home, and I will center align it. As you can see, the same applies to the next column where I'm going to type midterm examinations. Then I'll have to highlight it, and then I will have to center align it as well. So in that way, I can now be able to input the text that I have. In case anyone wants to ask any questions, you can leave them in the comment section, or you can post the questions in the group. I'll be going through your comments and I'll be able to respond them back. So in case you have questions like tonight, you can forward them. I'll reply them via YouTube, but in case the questions are sent in late, then I'll reply them in the group. So in the table, you of course know you can move through using the navigation keys. These are the navigation keys that I use to move through the table. If I want to increase the size of the cell, I just move the pointer right there. I know there's someone there from Katakwi who looks at this as a miracle, but this is not a miracle. It might be a little late to practice, but the same applies to this. And that way I will be having my table successful. And how many marks are awarded there? Those are like 10 marks. You already have 10, and then they say copy and paste the document to page 2. So assuming this is my page 1, I will just highlight it, right click, say copy, then I come to an empty space. I left click on an empty space below the table, then I will hit enter and go to the next page. Where you see this lining here, that's the next page. So I'll right click and paste my table right there. And with that, I'll have my work pasted, and I'll get the marks for pasting, which is 1 mark. Then using a copy on page 2, use a formula to compute total for tuition payable. So in order for you to create a function to find the total. Supposing these are the figures that I have. When I click on the table, you'll see here where there is layout. So under layout, you look through the different icons and you look for where we have formula or fx function, which is formula. You click on formula, then you'll have something in this kind where when you see here under paste function, there are different functions in case you want to calculate anything. So in this instance, may want to calculate the sum. So I'll click sum and then I'll type above. In some computers it comes automatically, in some computers it does not come automatically. Here you can still calculate other things like the product, the sign, true. So I will click OK, and here it is telling me index cannot be 0. Oh, I had put the cursor in a wrong position. So here the cursor should be below the figures that you want to calculate. So I'll go back under formula, and then it will show sum above. Then I'll hit OK, and you can see the answer appears right there. So insert, add any two colors to the background. So when they say add any two colors to the background, that means they want me to add some colors. So I will highlight the table, and then so in order to add a color to the background, I will highlight. I have to highlight the entire table, and then after highlighting I will right click, then under here you look for shading, then you click the drop down arrow to select a particular color that you want. In this case, I'm using NUP. Don't ask me why, but I've just decided to use NUP because it's more clearer and you can see the text can be seen. In case I've offended anyone, I will also try and use yellow, at least in one cell. Yeah, yellow is actually more clearer because it has a vision. So insert a diagonal watermark of your name in font 96 on page 2 only. So I'll come and I look for watermark. If you're using the latest versions of Office, watermark is normally under design. For people using Office below 2014 downwards, your watermark will be under insert. So I'll come and I look for watermark. I then look for custom watermark at the bottom. After custom watermark, I'll then come and I click text watermark, and then under text, assuming they've told me to put my name, let me use my name. So I can then select the font as if they have specified the font we should use. Okay, for this case, the font, you'll come here and then you look for the font they want you, but now me, I'm going to use a random font, but the size should be 96. So you will click there and type 96. Assuming they'll specify the color, I want to use red. If they say it is diagonal, you click diagonal. If it is horizontal, you click horizontal, then you click apply, and then you close. Then you can see the watermark appears. But let me go back and confirm the font. They have not specified they've only specified the font size or the font type. Then insert an art page border of your choice. So if they tell us page borders, that means our border will appear on the entire document. So we shall go under design, and then we look for page borders. You click on page borders, then you can select either shadow 3D custom box, then the style, can select that, and then maybe if I need a color, I know for me my base color is normally blue. Then if they specify the width, you can select there 3.2¼ then the art. If they've told you to use an art border, that means you're going to choose any random art. Should they tell you to use any random art and you don't insert the art, there are some marks you're going to lose, dear candidates, and that one affects you. So for this instance, make a printout of your work. What you should make sure to do is that you should make sure you save your work as you're working. So to save, you come to File, then Save, then I go to Browse, and then I hit Desktop. The instruction is normally save on a desktop, and then I'll type it as SCE, assuming it's my name. I type it as my name, then I hit Save. So there I'll have my work safe under word processing. And then in case they want us to do font paragraph formatting, normally you click here, and then indentation, you select what they want. If they tell you 2 inches or 2 centimeters, you just type your 2 inches. So